querés un strap y estirarlo del frente.
¿Para qué?
Porque cuando yo doble va a quedar así. Si no se te rompe el pump, está bien. Es que el mío ya está roto. Ah, bueno.
Well, welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and as you can see, I've got my friend Che here. His truck, it pretty much blew up something, and it blew up the other night, and he had it towed here. He's not too happy with the tow truck driver, who was a little rough on his truck. You could see that we were agreeing on pushing the trucks bumper to bumper. They're both beaters, and he said, well, the tow truck driver already messed my bumper up, so it doesn't matter anyways. He was pretty upset about that. Well, you know what I'm upset about? Not only the heat wave, this was actually the last time my transmission was ever working. I'm starting to think now maybe pushing his truck was what blew it up, but the next day on the way to my next job, the transmission didn't make it. Well, it's pretty common for these DirtyMaxes to leak out their transfer case fluid. The pump wears a hole in the side of the case housing, so for right now we're going to plan on replacing that, but it's going to be a little more complicated than that.
All right, just like every time I push a car, I'm exhausted. Only it's like 90 something degrees this time. It's doing the heat wave, baby. This thing's all the way back there because that's the only shade I got this time of day, and that's as far back as it'll go. You might be like, Ernest, why'd you get another project? That moped, you didn't finish your other projects. Somebody gave that one to me, so keep an eye out for that video, but I didn't pay for that one. So those other projects, this Cummins, those parts are at Dave's shop up in Centerville, and then the motorcycle and that Jeep are next. That moped is cheap enough though, I might do it in the meantime between everything else, but I didn't get that because I wanted another one. Let's get this one going. This is gonna be a fun one. I'm hoping we can have it done in less than 2 hours, but sometimes it takes 2 hours just to get the transfer case out. My wife got us some snacks, and I'm gonna check the codes. I'm using this Foxwell code scanner right now. Testing this out for a few days, so I'll let you know what I think. I'm just gonna use it to check the codes on this job.
Alright, I used this code reader a few times over the past couple of weeks, and my overall thoughts are I really like it. It's super easy to use.
Okay.
I love the interface and just how many options there are of what you can do with your car. Alright, Che was asking for some tools. Here's what he's working with, that drive shaft back here. He's going to get started while I check these codes. So let's go ahead and plug this thing into this DirtyMax. My goal is just to see if it has any codes, and I'm just assuming if it does, it's going to be anything related to the transmission. Let's get Che his pry bar there. Just like any code reader, you plug it in. This one will tell you if it's emissions ready. It'll help you read the codes, and obviously it can look at any of the different vehicles. So here's the main menu, the home menu. Let's see what it's got on it. Okay, this thing's got 10 different reset functions. Like I mentioned, it's got evap testing and emissions readiness, and it's gonna show us our DTCs, our trouble codes, as well as a little bit of live data. So let's go ahead and click on those, and I'm gonna look at the live data and just see if there's anything interesting. You can see some points of data there, and pretty much everywhere you look, it's got a nice little feature you can use.
Okay.
Tengo que sacar el protective plate. Sí, ¿no?
Sí. Mejor sí. Tal vez no, pero mejor sí.
And before I forget, Foxwell gave me an extra good deal on this, so check out the link in the description and pinned comment if you want one. I think this is a great DIY or entry-level scan tool. Yeah, lots of data, but just like I expected, the only codes were for that transmission and that transfer case. So let's go ahead and get under there and see exactly what's going on. I'm just wondering if we're going to be able to do this swap or if there's something more serious going on. Because the four-wheel drive hasn't been working for a while, so let's figure it out. Alright, so like I mentioned before, I thought we were just going to be replacing the housing. I had actually already ordered it, so his truck was just sitting in my driveway for a day or two before he drove over and we pushed it into my driveway. you can see here that we put the drain pan underneath there and we're pulling the drain plug expecting there to be some fluid because that hole's a little high up on the transfer case. I was shocked that nothing came out, but he did send me a picture of the puddle underneath his truck. I'll put that up here, and it doesn't surprise me that it didn't have anything in there. There's 1,000 bolts. I'm just kidding. There's like 30 something bolts holding this on the housing together. So we're just going to unbolt all that because the plan for right now is to separate the housing. But once we try and do that, we realize it's probably not going to be that easy. All right, well, Che got the drive shaft unbolted. We went to pull that out, and there was just a little bit of fluid that tried to leak out. So we're going to put the drain pan under there and get this drive shaft out. All right, this drive shaft was pretty hard to wiggle out of there. I ended up needing Che's hands up at the top. I don't know if it was just heavier or if I was holding it at a weird angle, but I could not pull that thing out.
Está cayendo un poco. Sí, levanto acá. ¿Qué hay que hacer? Está saliendo, Ay, ok. Ahí está.
¿Lo bajo? Sí.
Perfect.
Okay, it was at this point we started to realize something was going wrong. We were trying to separate this case, and to be fair, I don't have the right pliers to remove this clip on the top, but when it's inside the truck, they don't even make the right kind of pliers to do that. So I'm just using 2 screwdrivers. You can see the clip there. We were trying to separate those, and even while doing that, this housing just would not separate, and there was a bunch of things trying to separate by themselves in there that probably shouldn't have been. So that's what I'm showing you here. There was some gunk in the bottom, some metal pieces, and I thought at this point we better just yank the whole thing out. So it was easy enough at that point. We're just gonna pull these 6 more nuts off this front of the case and whip it right out of there real quick, another 30-40 minutes. It's not the easiest thing to do when it's inside the truck either way, and I said there was just 6 more nuts on the front. There's also that cross member and the transmission mount, but other than that, it's pretty easy to get out. Here's a look at it. Like I said, 30 minutes later, we had this thing out. Let's go ahead and tear it down and see what's going on.
Dinner time.
I have a shield.
Wow, mira esto.
Yeah. Es un pedazo de metal.
Sí.
Sí.
Dang.
Well, that's pretty much all we needed to see. This thing obviously had a meltdown and had other problems. The 4-wheel drive didn't work and that fork was broken. So we're just going to get a whole new transfer case. Let's go ahead and jump to the next day. And this transfer case was in Salt Lake City. So next day I have it. I'm going to tear it down and put the pump kit, the pump repair kit in it, because these transfer cases, the problem with it is there's a pump inside that has a little bit of wiggle room. And over time, that pump will wiggle so much that it'll pop a hole in the transfer case housing. So that's why if you can catch it early enough, which I was hoping we did, you can just replace the transfer case housing and upgrade the pump kit, and that's all I was planning on doing. But I have the pump upgrade kit, and I'm obviously going to put that in the transfer case I'm about to put in this truck. And good thing too, because I found another issue when I was taking this apart. Yeah, just kind of some weird issue going on here. So stay tuned for that, and let's get this kit put on there.
All right. Good thing I'm taking this apart anyways. Look at this gasket material. Not only is it a piece of junk, flimsy, weak, but this is from the inside of the case. Most of it. Down here there wasn't really hanging out on the inside. It all came out on the other side, but this was absolutely full of junk. What is that? Just a magnet under there? Yeah, like that. I just got it all cleaned up pretty much. Shouldn't be able to clean it up by hand, but that's how junky that gasket material was. So good thing I'm upgrading this. That pump wear kit in there. There's that snap ring, and let's get this going back together. My gasket is going to take 90 minutes to get ready. It's going to be a lot better than that though. That's what I'm talking about. Brother, oh, dude, this was gonna blow this thing up. There's the other half. I was like, I guess only half got inside now. The other half is back here on this part. Oh,
I gotta get down there. But yeah, but this other half is all on the inside of this case. Look at that. That's what clogs up the pickup screens and stuff and blows your stuff up. It starves it of oil, lubrication. Can't pick up enough oil. Brother. Alright, you're about to witness the steadiest hand in the West apply some former gasket. I'm just kidding. My hands were feeling a little shaky that day, and I over applied it in some of the corners, but I got it evened up and cleaned up with my finger pretty good. I probably should have put some gloves on, but I feel a lot better about this gasket than the one that was in there, and I can't wait to be working in this truck again soon because just having some shady place to work is so nice. And earlier I said there was like 30-something bolts. I really didn't count them. There might not quite be 30, but you can count yourself. There's a ton of bolts on that case. Just check them out. This is the same exact case, but interestingly, the bolts that came with it were a little bit different. And granted, it took a little bit of wiggling to line back up. That clip's a little tough to get lined back up at the same time. And I just wanted to get this all torqued down and put in by hand. I'm not joking, this clip took probably 30-40 minutes just to get put back into place. This was the first time I've done one of these. I could definitely do it in like 5 minutes next time though, but it's a little tricky. I feel really good about this though because the main issue with these transfer cases is the fact that pump rattles a hole in the case. So at the same time we're putting a new case in here, I'm going to fix that issue for good. And some of those little repair kits only come with little 2 tabs on the end. This one came with tabs on all 4 little pieces. I'm sure the 2 will do just fine, but figured if some come with 4, might as well do that. And this thing's all tightened back up and ready to go. Let's get the tag off of there. I've got the seal back on. Let's get it in and fill it up with fluid. Alright, here we are putting it back in. When we took it apart, the seal on the front was a little busted up, and obviously we replaced that gasket, so we're just getting that in and bolted back up, and we'll put the cross member on and get this thing running. And we're going to need it running because, as you know, it had already been a day for this transfer case to get in. That was the day that my transmission blew up, so we're going to use Che's truck to go pick up my truck tonight. You know, he's got a trailer, or we're going to rent one of those little U-Haul things, and we're going to go pick up my truck. At least that's the plan. It's not going to work out. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right. We tried to go get my truck tonight, but this truck didn't want to have that. So we tried just taking it out on the street, and it wouldn't go into gear, and the lights were blinking on the transmission, drive, reverse, and then we could shut it off and start it back up, and it would go into reverse, and then it would go back into limp mode. And we got it back to my house because we just only got a block away, and it was low on transmission fluid. I'm pretty sure it got low, shifted real hard, broke the transfer case. So there was 2 problems at once, but luckily we got it topped back off with some Transfix in a bottle, and this is shifted nice. So that's it for tonight, but we're gonna have to look for that truck tomorrow. All right guys, well, bummer that Walmart's not open 24 hours anymore. We had to run over here, and there's just enough time to get some oil. Dude, this thing had a full refill. That was like 9 quarts. I don't know how it lost so much. He thinks he lost it all at once, but I think that seal that was bad in the transfer case let it all out. It's 1 quart low now, so we're at the low mark on hot, and we should have just bought a whole gallon because that was way more than I thought it was going to be. Every time I put it in there, I thought that's plenty. That'll be more than enough, and I needed. Every time I was like, okay, 2 more, and I bought 3 this time, thinking 3 would be enough. My buddies had to run in and grab 1 more. It's at the low mark on hot though now, finally. So it should just be 1 more quart. And that trailer though, I haven't heard back from the guy. It's getting late. I mean, Walmart's closing in 10 minutes, so probably getting that tomorrow.